Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel, the Fountain Pen Ink Station. I hope everybody's having a great day or night, wherever you are, depending on your time zone. I'm so glad to have you here to join me. I'm going to get started. Today I am kind of going through my Yoseka haul that I had. It was for Tono and Lims ink. They had a new release for Lim's father. So I got two of those and then two that I had been wanting that my samples were getting low on. So let's dive in. Move this out of the way. I don't like crinkling, so I already pre-opened everything. I wanted to show this pin. So it's a local artist here in Minnesota who makes them, and it goes towards the ongoing Minnesota crisis for ice. So I'm going to put that off the side. I'll leave her contact and Instagram below. All right, I have my Speedball B nib and my Pilot dip pen that I showed last time. I have a little sample of Dominant Industry Royal Azalea. Their bottles are so cute for samples. And I got a 3 milliliter bottle because that's all they had left. And then we have Coffee Before the Road. Goodbye, My Old Man. This is their super contact line, Contact Tessar, and then Crazy Penguin. So I'm going to open up my Hobonichi notebook, which I had completely forgotten I got for this new year. So we're kind of starting with a brand new page. I like to use these little clips, and you can get them pretty much anywhere. I'll move my Lego holder out of the way. And I use these to hold the pages open. So if I can find where I got this one, I'll link it below. If you search for like a brass clip on Amazon or even just on Google, I'm sure plenty will pop up for you. Let's start with the two that I had already in my collection as samples, and then we'll move to the new to me ones. So let me open this. This is what the bottle looks like. And there's some, oh, can you see the shimmer? Let's see if I get the lighting right. So with shimmer inks, I just like to lightly agitate it. Looks like the ink is pretty distributed well. Okay, again, so I got my Speedball B brow snib B0. And I do have a cup of water off to the side. So I'm just gonna do some swirly clouds. And then, oops, a little snake. I just dip off the extra ink. I forgot, I also like to make a little line, because that will sometimes show off the shading really well. Rinse off my nib over here. And then I have my Pilot dip nib in a medium. Let's see how this writes. Has anybody tried this ink before? I got this sample from Jovith on Ink Friend a while back. I finally finished the sample and kept hemming on getting it, and I just finally pulled a plug when this new series came out. Just the Remembrance line. Okay, we'll go to the next one. And when these dry, I'll show a closer up picture of them. Let me get you even here. Okay, the next one is going to be Crazy Penguin. And this one is also a shimmer ink. I don't know if you can see that. I am slightly obsessed with this ink. Oh, let me put the lid on contact. I've had this inked up in my TWSBI Mini Grape since the Chicago Pen Show of last year. So that's coming up in May. About a year. But just keep refilling it and refilling it. This one's a little bit more, I don't want to say watery, but and you won't see the shimmer too much until it actually dries. I've always noticed that about this ink. Is anybody going to the Chicago Pen Show? If so, put it in the comments below. I'd be curious. I was planning to go, and there's just been a lot of stuff going on that I don't think I'm going to be able to go this year, and I'm a little sad about it. So I'd be curious how many are able to go in this community. All right, drum roll. All right, I am really excited about these. So the first one is Coffee Before the Road. So I had lost my father last year around Thanksgiving, and my dad loves coffee, and he's not a fancy coffee drinker. He loved his Folgers coffee. So when I saw the remembrance line, which was in remembrance of his dad, I had to get this one. Also, my husband and I always have to get coffee before we hit the road anywhere we go. So it was just perfect. Oh, this one comes with a little, I don't know what this is actually. Sorry for the crinkling. Maybe it's like a swatch card? Does anybody know? Let me know if you do. All right. Open this one. I'm really excited about this one. So I'm going to move you up a little bit. I'm trying to make you dizzy. Okay, Coffee Before the Road. I'm a little worried they're going to be very similar. So we'll just have to see. And then, oops, of course, I made a little drip. I brought my blotter paper. I can always clean that up here in a minute. Oh my god. I can't even right now with this ink. Wow. I really can't wait to see what that looks like when it dries. Just dab it. Let me grab my blotter paper. I don't know, if you can see the shading as it's drying. If not, I think it will show up when it definitely dries. It's got like some blue. I see some orange. That is pretty. All right, we'll try to get the next one open. All right, this comes with the same. It's a little bit different. This one's blue, and then the Coffee Before the Road was a purple one. I'll show it at the end. Both of these are not shimmer inks, so this one is kind of self-explanatory in why I got it. It's called Goodbye, Old Man. I'm gonna do a separate video coming up, more on that, but for now, Goodbye, My Old Man is self-explanatory and why I got it after losing my dad just a few months ago. All right, again, I think this is going to be quite similar. Let's see, can I zoom you guys in? Oh, it's more brown. Bookish Mandy always talks about how she's obsessed with pinks. And for me, I love pink, but I like the brownish pinks, kind of like what we swatched last time. Anything dusty colored, sign me up. Oh my gosh. Caesar hyphen? No. That one's an instant. I love this one so much. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna let these dry, and then we're gonna swatch. Then I'll show you a close-up picture, and then we'll swatch that sample I got. But here's what it looks like when it's still very wet. So you can see the shimmer kind of coming through, but when it dries, you'll see it a lot better. All right, I will be back shortly. Hey friends, we're back. That took quite a bit longer to dry, and I think it's only because Tono and Lims is a little bit of a more lubricated, like I don't want to say watery, just it's a little bit thinner ink, and I laid it down pretty heavy. So there's one or two maybe that are not completely dry, but you get the picture once I show you. Okay, I'm hoping that when I zoom in, you can actually see the properties. Okay, so this is Tono and Lims Super Contact Tessar. Let me open my window a little bit and see if that helps. The shading is very subtle. In this finer nib, you can't really see the shimmer. I have put it in a broader nib and you can see the shimmer. Okay, the next one is Tono and Lims Crazy Penguin. This one's still not completely dry. This one you can see the shimmer a little bit in the writing. And in my broad nib, I have it in that Twisby. You can definitely see it. Okay, this one is completely dry. This is the Tono and Lims Coffee Before the Road. Check this ink out. Oh, it's not completely dry. I see a little bit wet. There is some blue haloing, and you can even see it in the little squiggly snake line and in here. And you can see the shading even in the writing, which is really cool. I really hope that's picking up. Okay, this one's still pretty wet. Okay, so Goodbye My Old Man. This one has green haloing. And you can see that also in this. I think this is where I did it a little bit more ink. So pink, some green, some brown, and then again you can see that here in the shading line. So between these four, if you had to pick one, would you pick the Super Contact Tessar, Crazy Penguin, Coffee Before the Road, or Goodbye My Old Man? And if so, why did you pick that one? That specific one. I love all of them. I still am very partial to Crazy Penguin. I love penguins, I love purple ink, and I love shimmer. And these ones I just love for the nostalgia, for the whole reason why I got them to begin with. Okay, the page is still wet, but we're going to go ahead and swatch the little sample I got. So this is where blotting paper comes in handy. And I'm just using a really well-loved blotting paper. So I'm going to carefully move the page and use my clamp. Sorry, my arm is in the way. Alright, Royal Azalea number, I didn't realize, do dominant inks always have numbers on them? Number 111. Sorry, I have a little cut on my hand. Alright, make sure you're center. Okay. Oh, this is different. Usually, I don't think I've had one on here before. Looks like they used some sealing tape on here. So I'll move that off the side. I'm trying not to get my desk too crazy messy. This is an antique desk. I'm actually waiting on a desk mat to come in, hopefully later today. At some point I want to show you guys my desk because I saved up for it and I'm really excited about it. And I'm finally getting it set up to where I like have everything where I want it. Snake. We do a 9. I really enjoy Dominant Industry inks. I don't usually gravitate towards like these hot pinks, so that's why I got the sample. However, I have noticed my ink preferences expanding or changing. And wanting to branch out. Oh, of course I forgot to put the name. Royal. We'll just do it a little bit differently. And then I'm going to put in here sample from Yoseka for my own purpose. Okay, while that's drying, I got one more thing from Yoseka. Well, I also got a glue stick, but I left that in the other room. It is, I think it's called the Grimoire BMG tape. So I'm going to open it off camera so it's not so loud. And I will be 100% transparent and kind of nerd myself here a little bit. I got this ink because of the name Grimoire. I love Frieren from, it's an anime and manga. And so anything that reminds me of that, I will typically get. Oh no, I almost ripped it. Okay. So let's just put it. Oh, I love it so much. It doesn't look like it really repeats too much. Let's see how far. Okay, so yeah, about right there. I have been really into washi tape lately. Anybody else into washi tape? BGM has been really kind of kicking butt as far as their releases. And they just had a release probably, well, it might have been like a month ago for the cherry sakura blossoms. There was like a little snowbird. And I didn't see it until it was already sold out. And I was trying to look at Atlas. And I don't know if anybody else is on the Atlas Discord, but I was on the Atlas Discord. And I said, hey, are you going to get a restock of this? And someone said it sold out in 10 seconds. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then in Simone's Discord, I had a friend who said, hey, check this store out. And I found a store in Hawaii. I don't know if they have any still in stock, but I can link it down below and hopefully they do. They were a really good shop to work with. And I highly recommend them. And if I was thinking, I would have brought the washi tape in here, but I'm still getting my desk set up. So forgive me on that. This one dried really nice. Still a little bit wet, but okay. Dominant Industry Royal Azalea. Are you a fan of bright pinks? What do you think of this one if you are? There's not a whole lot of shading. There's not a whole lot of like, wow, I need this ink, which is good. These are the samples I want. I don't know about anybody else, but when I get a sample and then I immediately love it and then I regret not buying a bottle, that's when I feel like it's a wash for getting a sample. But this, I think I'm safe from getting a bottle. Okay. Well, I am going to wrap this video up. Again, I will have some links down below of the things we talked about and found today. I hope everybody has a great day or night where you are. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. You matter. You're awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope to see you next time. Comment, like, subscribe, join the community, and dive in this rabbit hole of fountain pen and fountain pen ink. And we will see you next time. Bye.